Okay, here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to RB5 webinar. My name is Adam. I'll be your host today. We have something very special prepared for you today. And before we start, let's just do a quick warm up. I know there's a little delay in terms of the broadcast, so let us know in the comments that you're here. Let us know where you're based, how was your day, and we'll begin in just in a few seconds, okay? We'll be right back. All right. I see some comments in the chat. Thanks for letting us know. Hello, David. Hello, Ahmed. It's nice. It's nice to be here. In the webinar today, we will go over the major product updates that we have just rolled out. That allows you to create an environment monitoring applications without writing any line of code. That's it. We have just introduced a no code workflow, and we are very excited to show it to you today. And this is pretty much it. Like I mentioned, write your questions in the chat section. We'll be answering them in the very end. And without further ado, let's just introduce our presenters, Maciej Mirnecki. Maciej, the floor is yours.
Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you, Adam, for this kind opportunity to present the latest updates in our product. It was long awaited, and some of our users commented that, oh, this Earth observation is really nice. It's good to read interesting papers, see some lead news in your favorite newspapers and portals, but if somebody has difficulties with coding, it might be quite daunting task starting from the very beginning. We provide you an option just to drag and drop whatever comes to your mind to test your ideas and to release and publish them to the world. So maybe I'll start with going with actual example. Yes, I can see my screen. So I assume that everyone is also seeing it. Let's start with the login to our platform. Let's build a new app. My no code app. Why not? Let's be fancy. It's being created. Here we have the usual templates. We can go inside, but let's start with a blank one. Let's go to do building workflows. Please, if you have some questions, ask them, especially as we're building it. The first one, I will go through how we build. This is our administrative view. We can see the familiar map. Now we are centered somewhere in the US. Here in the right corner, we have the region selection that we're going to select. Here is the button to switch to the end user. I remind you that now we are an administrative user, so those are two sides of the same app. Whatever we build here, the workflow process will be displayed and executed for end user. The end user will not have no access apart from the ones that we give him, like inputting the date, the region of interest, so on and so forth. We extend the functionality, so we'll have the end error handling and so it's not that difficult. Today we're building an simple NDVI map. So for this reason, let's use the Sentinel-2 dataset. It's already here. What else? In order to do it, we have three categories of blocks that we can insert. Those are the collections, the processes, the things that you can do with the collections, and the user parameters, the things that end user will have available, like inputting the dates, inputting the number if he's setting a threshold for some specific use, and of course selecting the band and the date. So let's select a date. That's the parameter that your user will. Let's organize it a little bit. What else? We might need to select some data. So let's go with simple median filter. Bach is going to be here. What else? Now let's investigate how do we connect the blocks. This one requires, you can see it's color coded. The violet one is the ones that your end user will have ability to set up in your app. But of course, we can equally select a date of our choosing here, like 2022. This is an NDVI, so maybe somewhere in the beginning of the harvest season might be actually helpful. So let's pick suitable dates. And now here, those are the default values that we can test our algorithm with. So this is our block, no filter. That means all of the bands are being passed. Of course, when you click inside, you have all the information about the data set. We can see there's a simple description of all of bands provided by the data provider when we need it for the reference. Like to make a one composite image, we select median. And if you're familiar with the environmental monitoring and crops monitoring, of course, there are like many products, but we building our own. So let's start with what we want with the data. So now we have blocks selecting the date, selecting the data set, compositing, connect it into the what should be done with it. As the one familiar with Sentinel-2, you know that band 8 we can always reference in the data set here. Oh, let me show. You can always reference the band names here. Oh, now we know if you don't save, it will disappear. So no rush. So the magic numbers are B4 and B3. The B4 is the near infrared, B3 is the red. Normalize. Now let's go. The product is already calculated. Now let's concentrate on, visualization. Create visualization. Data goes to data. If we click on it, we can just select. It takes first 3 bands, but that's only one output band. Set a minimum value for the visualization. Let's go with -0.2. Everything negative probably would be water. Set the maximum value to 0.75. It's already quite high. We can set an opacity, and let's go with some vibrant color palette. This one is quite aggressive. I like it. So the final step, we have the visualization. We must put it on the map. Show on the map. Of course, we provide you with some ready-made examples of similar workflows, and it's a basic workflow that gives your user, that we're going to see here, capability to choose the date. We make some processes, make a composite, compute an NDVI, and just drag and dropping, selecting few parameters, we can select visualization. So let's test it in the administrative view for now to see if maybe some errors arise now. Of course, it's a really daunting task if you're coding live. Oh, surprise, surprise, it actually worked. Let's go to Chichuan Desert in the United States, in the Washington State. We can see river, Columbia River, and lots of irrigated farms in the desert. Excellent. In principle, it works. So now let's go to the app user view. You can see it's available under this URL that we predefined in the first step. So let's go maybe to a totally different region that we know that has a nice bright contrast, assuming that we develop our fancy app for the user somewhere in Egypt. Oh, have I done something wrong? Or is it? Let's make a name. Egypt Farmer 1. Why not? So it's here. And the same code is executed for this region. You can see that there are lots of desert farms irrigated with the water from Nile and some subterranean aquifers. So hopefully this brief introduction was just enough to give you a taste how easy it is with just drag and dropping code blocks. And I really encourage you to test it. Give us feedback. What are the algorithms that you would like to see? What you would like to do with it? And together we will build it and make it better. I give
Thanks,
you the
Maciej. That was really informative and a nice walkthrough of how the platform works. I've been playing with it a little in the last couple of days, and I'm still astounded how fast you get the actual results. It's really very impressive. Couple of reminders. I see some questions in the chat. Go ahead and feel free to ask them. We have reserved some time in the end of the webinar, so we'll be answering them in the end. We're not ignoring you. Other than that, Ahmed, you asked about the access to the platform. Everyone who's on the webinar will get the access to the platform just immediately after the webinar, so we'll be sending them to you shortly. And without further ado, we'd like to invite our special guest, a good friend of Orbify, Mateus Mendes, who is a forest engineer and GIS expert, who'll be doing a little more advanced applications with the no-code workflow. Mateus, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, everybody.
Okay.
It's very honored to me to be here. And I would just like to say, firstly, that's really cool, the no-code side, and all the things that you can do, because some people do not want to learn how to code. I love to code, but sometimes if you want like to do some analysis and you do not have like some time to study and coding, the Orbify is really cool because you can just like do this drag and drop, and you can have like really cool stuff. So I encourage everybody to test because you receive like this access to the platform, so you can go test and do some nice stuff. And I also would say like to do some posts on LinkedIn and tag Orbify so I can follow what you guys are doing also and check like all the works because it's really cool. The guys called me to test some things, and I will show to guys a little bit two things that I did and can be also be some kind of interesting to someone. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So, okay, now you guys can see my screen. I will not do like a guide through each side of the code because of the blocks. Sorry, because if no, it will take like so long time. So just explain briefly what I did, which is very aligned with what Machev showed. So I also did like if you check like this first line is exactly the NDVI. So I did an NDVI and I was thinking and how interesting it would be if I could integrate different dates to analyze if a crop is growing or if you have like a harvesting or if your agriculture field is like being healthy and unhealthy, this type of stuff. Not only I static date NDVI, but NDVI through time series. So thinking on that, what I did here was I have exactly the same code, but for three different dates. So I have here the first sorry, it's the first date from April to May. Here is the second one from May to June, and here it's June to July. And I will put each band, each date in a different band. So I will create a RGB composite. So as I said, here is exactly the same thing, the normalized difference. And what I did before it, after it, it was like I renamed the bands. So I give the name for the NDVI 1, NDVI 2, NDVI 3. So I can like, okay, it's the first one, the second one, the third one. So I combine the bands. So I combine the 1 and 2 in another image and create a new image combining the image with the 1 and 2 with the 3. So we have the combination of the NDVI 1, 2, and 3. And after that, I just create the visualization simple as Machev showed with the NDVI 1, 2, and 3 and show it on map. So I will click here on view as a user. I already have it opened. And we showed you guys how this is displayed. I did some tests in different areas, and there is one area that's really interesting, which is in Paraguay. I do not know if you have like anyone here from Paraguay, but if you are on this webinar, please put a comment and say, hey, I'm from Paraguay. And oh, sorry, it's not Paraguay, it's near Paraguay. It's here in South Brazil, Mato Grosso do Sul. And so when you click add order, this is really cool because you have the ability to select the dates that you want to analyze. I set up like on the workflow, I set up the standard dates. But if you guys build this app and send this to a client, for example, to a friend or to an organization, the people will be able to select the date of interest. And this is really cool stuff because this gives to the user some ability to play along. So you have here, like, as I say, April to May, May to June, and here the last one is June to July. And I'll just click continue because I want to use exactly the same dates. And okay, I just give the order. And the thing that Adam said is really cool, how it's fast to process the data. And you can like, it was less than 1 minute. Like I'm taking so much time to explain everything and to display like very fast. And that's really cool. So you can have your results like very early. And basically what what is like showing here, as I said, if you have NDVI in each different band, what you have is, for example, the first date is in red, the second date is green, the third date is blue. So the areas here that's like more near than red, let's say like that, that's like this pink colors, and this one here that's red, means that had higher NDVI at the beginning, like it was on the first 3 months. So you have the higher NDVI, which means that probably it was a crop that was harvested. Our date is the month of April, so probably it was a crop that was harvested in April, after April. So you can do like this type of analysis. Also, you can see that everything here is more green to blue, with like this cyan color, which means that are crops that are growing. So you can like cross-check these, for example, with precipitation data sets also if you want. And that's the idea. Everything that's like more gray means that had higher NDVI through all the dates. So if it has higher NDVI during all these dates, probably it's a forest. You can use and change here also the base map. So let's put like satellite base map, and we can see, for example, some areas that should be gray. For example, here we see like a forest patch. Uh, Fingers crossed that would be great colors, because if no, I would be like a liar for you guys. Yeah, so you can see here that, okay, it's great. Probably here you can see that here, let me just enable. Here you do not have what can be. It's that, okay, here maybe it is like a forest plantation, so can be a forest that was harvested, because in that area there is like a lot of plantations of eucalyptus. But as you could see here, this area was one area that is a forest, and you can like play along and see different things and the different pests. Um, and just like another thing that I would like to show to everybody is that you can do the same thing using SAR data. And I will let you guys play along as a challenge to everybody access the platform and try to do it, to analyze across the board. And what I have here, basically, just to show you guys, is one image for each year. So I have 2022, 2020, 2021. And it's exactly the same approach as the NDVI. And with that, we can also see areas that are being like deforested, or that are happening like different things. Here is one example inside one indigenous land in Brazil. And these indigenous lands, I know that are happening some illegal mining there. And here I can see, for example, more or less in each year it happened. For example, everything that's red means that was forest on the first date, but no forest anymore. So my first date is 2020. So I know that on 2020, afterwards, it was deforested. So yeah, that's more or less the idea. You can give like some nice visualization also to your apps, and that's quite interesting. And yeah, like this is the what would like to show to you guys. I do not know if you have like any question about that. If you have any question, please send on the channel, like on the comments. And as I said before, go ahead and test and try to do different things, because it's really cool how you can implement different data, and also do different analysis. So that's it for now.
Thanks a lot, Matthias. Really appreciate it. I'm also bringing Maciej to the screen. So just three of us. Like we mentioned before, we want to answer some of your questions that appeared in the chat while we were talking. And let's start with the first one from Franklin. I see that Michał from our team already commented the question, but maybe Maciej, you can bring some perspective about the collections and repositories available on the platform.
Yes, currently everything that is available publicly through Google Earth Engine is already on our platform, but we are also integrating other data sources that are not there. So please go and search our data catalog or inquiry us. Is there any specific data set from your National Statistical Institute that you would like to include? If it's necessary for your research and for your projects, let us know. We'll be happy to include it in our offering.
Right. Going to the second question, an interesting one from Ahmed that is related more to the end user perspective. So Ahmed is asking about the ability to integrate with Stripe payments.
Yes, this is, we are not showing it in this short workshop, but it's our core feature that we are fully integrated with online payments and ability to monetize your apps. And you as an app builder in the administrative view decide whose is what, and is it you giving it for free, or how much you're going to charge, and what is your pricing policy.
Correct. The third one is from Hoza, and Hoza is asking, can you nest app with other apps? For example, I can have a part of pipeline shared across several apps. Can I use it?
Yes, of course. Like today's example was designed in such a way that I was showing the very basic building blocks that then Matthews used to build more complicated applications for really sophisticated cases of forestry and natural reserve protection. And our idea is to make those building blocks package in some kind of modules that then you can just reference, copy paste to your another code, so you don't have to repeat this sometimes tedious process of assembling the modules. You will have them ready in your wallet. We're still developing the naming convention. So is there any particular application that you have in mind? So we'll be happy to know and to see how we can accommodate those needs.
A lot of questions about the data types you're working. Ahmed is asking, can we integrate API to fetch satellite data from a commercial provider?
Yes, we have this capability. Currently, as you show, we're mainly working on the publicly available Sentinels, but we have deals with other satellite providers. Even of your choosing, you will be able to plug in your credentials if you already have an agreement with a satellite provider, or will be happy to oblige and provide this data for you, so it will be only visible to your account, so you can just drag and drop this specific data set from provider of your choosing.
Right, that's a premium feature, right? You can upload your own data, and in the meantime, we are talking to a number of providers, and eventually we envision having multiple.
You tell me, Adam, you're deciding on pricing.
Okay, the next question is from Darius. Oh, hello, Darius. It's good to see you here. How about features so that like infrastructure, so there's substations and transmission?
I'm not sure what you mean. Do you need you mean using some vector data from let's say the OpenStreetMap or your local municipality that provides, or are you thinking about specific algorithm to detect those passages? So please write further comment. I'm really eager to discuss technicalities and specific algorithm types.
Yeah, we need a clarification on that one. Quite a few questions in the chat. So the next one is from Gordon. Can custom data, my own imagery or vector data, for example, be integrated into the platform? Seems like you partially answered that, but Maciej, you want to elaborate on this?
Just to repeat, yes, we have the ability to upload your own data. I don't know if you're familiar with Ellipsis Drive. It's our partner that it's like Google Drive when you upload your own data. And you can store it, and you can directly access this data through your account. And of course, it depends. If you have really a lot of data, you can store them in your Google bucket or as free bucket AWS, and you can access through this way as well.
Okay, now off to question from Josh. Are there any image classification machine learning features?
Yes, we are currently working on with scikit-learn and other machine learning frameworks from Python community. It's not yet directly implemented in the no-code editor because, as you can imagine, those require quite a bit of calibration and fine-tuning and training. But those features are available in the code editor when you actually put your Python code directly in the similar manner, but instead of drag and dropping blocks, you just place your Python code in the code window.
Right. We also have a clarification from Dariusz. So Dariusz is saying that he meant remote sensing. I know Dariusz is working with renewable projects. Sorry. So Maciej, how would you apply the platform capabilities to working with renewable projects?
Oh, it's a quite a hot topic, and it has a really wide range of applications of remote sensing. The one that comes to mind is now as the PV and household PV installations. You can use it to gauge the PV potential in specific regions, how cloudy, how much solar radiation is reaching particular regions. You can infer the wind load on the wind turbines, especially in the coastal regions, as you can gauge the wind strength. Also, through our API, you can access the global forecast model from NOAA. Then you can also see what is the wind potential in your particular region within forecast. The possibilities are really large. So we can discuss it even further. There are like many avenues how remote sensing can be used.
Okay, one more question from David's. Do you have the capability or partner who I could work with to develop a prototype of a solution? Happy to pay. Maciej, can I take this one?
Yes, yes. I think it's totally your field.
So yeah, David, I mean, in company, we have capabilities to build applications internally, and we are happy to support you with building any complex applications using any advanced AI algorithm for a wide array of needs. So feel free to reach out, and we'll be happy to elaborate on this.
Yes, as probably you mentioned in another call, consulting is also part of our business. So for specific applications, we can tailor a solution that in the end will use our front end as a visualization. So sky is the limit.
Correct. Okay, and it seems like we've gone through the whole list of the questions that appeared in the chat. Really appreciate, by the way, all the questions. Thank you. And I think this is it for the webinar. Maciej, Mateusz, thanks a lot for doing it. And David asked one more question, which is probably a very valid question. What is the best way to contact you? We'll be sending some additional information after the webinar to everyone who participated. David, I'll make sure to reach out to you individually, personally. And to everyone else, you can find us on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and most importantly, on our community Slack. And I'll be dropping a link to our community Slack in the chat in a second. So this is the place where you'll find us when you can engage in conversation with a lot of our users, especially the most active ones like Mateusz. And feel free to join us there. Dropping the link right now. And I guess this is a good accent to end the webinar. Thanks everyone for joining us today. And till the next time. Thank you.